There's an animal in your yard right now, and it might be saving your life. You've probably tried to scare it away, poison it, crush it under your shoe. It looks like a mistake, a face assembled from spare parts, a long pink snout, beady black eyes, 50 teeth crammed into a narrow jaw, a naked rat tail dragging behind, crooked legs that move just slightly too slow. Most people see this and reach for a broom, or call pest control, or worse. But here's what the pest control industry doesn't want you to know. While you sleep, this creature eliminates threats you can't even see. Threats that target your children, your pets, your dinner table. And the billion-dollar chemical industry has been convincing you to kill your best natural ally, so they can sell you poison instead. I'm talking about the Virginia opossum. By the end of this video, everything you thought you knew about this animal will turn completely upside down. But before we defend the opossum, we have to understand what it's defending us from. And that requires talking about something far less charming. Ticks. Most people think of ticks as a seasonal annoyance. You go for a hike, you find one on your leg, you pull it off, you forget about it. The reality is far more sinister. Ticks are among the most dangerous disease vectors in North America, and the list of things they carry reads like a medical textbook. Lyme disease causes joint pain, neurological damage, chronic fatigue that can last years. Rocky Mountain spotted fever attacks blood vessels, causes organ damage, can be fatal within days if untreated. Anaplasmosis destroys white blood cells, causes fever, chills, severe headache. Babesiosis, a parasitic infection that destroys red blood cells, causing fever and anemia. Every single one of these can permanently change your life. And here's the terrifying part. You often don't even know you've been bitten. They're small. They're patient. They hide in your grass, in your garden beds, in the leaf pile your kids jump into on autumn afternoons. Deer ticks in particular can survive in any yard with vegetation. They don't need a dark forest. They just need a warm host, a humid microclimate, and time. Every single year, hundreds of thousands of people across North America are diagnosed with a tick-borne illness. The number keeps climbing. Climate change is expanding tick habitats further north every season. Now, who do you think quietly stands between you and these parasites every single night? Scientists studying tick distribution noticed something unusual. Certain properties had dramatically fewer ticks, often without any chemical treatment at all. When they analyzed the data, one factor kept surfacing with statistical significance: opossums. Researchers at the Carey Institute of Ecosystem Studies decided to test just how effective these animals really were. What they found exceeded everyone's expectations. A single Virginia opossum kills and consumes up to 5,000 ticks per week. Let that number settle for a moment. 5,000 ticks in 1 week. Raise your hand if you had any idea these animals were doing this. I certainly didn't before I started researching this video. The secret is in their grooming. Despite looking scraggly and unkempt, opossums are remarkably clean animals. They groom for hours each day, running their claws through their fur, systematically removing and eating every tick they find. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Unlike deer, squirrels, mice, and rabbits, which are reservoir hosts, opossums don't just eat the ticks. They also don't transmit the diseases those ticks carry. Their body temperature hovers around 94 to 97 degrees Fahrenheit, too low for most tick-borne pathogens to survive or replicate. When an opossum eats a tick carrying Lyme disease, the pathogen dies inside the opossum's digestive system. It doesn't spread, it doesn't amplify, it simply ends. In disease ecology, this is called a dead end for pathogens. The opossum is a biological wall. A tick carrying Lyme attaches, gets eaten, and the infection cycle stops there. It doesn't reach your kids. It doesn't reach your dog. It ends in the stomach of the ugliest animal in your yard. So if they're this valuable, why do we hate them? Let me dismantle the 3 biggest lies you've been told about opossums. Myth 1. Opossums carry rabies. This is the most persistent and most false belief about the species, and it's been repeated so often that even wildlife professionals sometimes believe it. The Virginia opossum has the lowest body temperature of any North American mammal. The rabies virus cannot survive at that temperature. It's like trying to grow a tropical plant in a freezer. Documented cases of rabies in opossums are so extraordinarily rare that they're practically non-existent. In practical terms, this is one of the safest wild animals you could ever encounter. Myth 2. Opossums are aggressive. Look at that. 50 teeth, pink gums, hissing like a demon. Looks like something from a horror film. But here's the truth. That's not aggression. That's fear. An opossum puts on this display because it's terrified of you. It's hoping you'll be intimidated and leave it alone. These are the least confrontational animals on the North American continent. They will always choose escape or playing dead over a fight. They are not predators of your pets. They are not guardians of your trash. They're just opportunists who found an easy meal. If you secure your bins, they'll move on. Myth 3. Playing dead is a trick they choose to do. This is the one that fascinates me the most. When an opossum plays dead, it's not acting. It's not a conscious choice. The animal enters an involuntary catatonic state, a stress-induced physiological shutdown that it cannot control. Its body goes limp, its eyes glaze over, its mouth falls open. Its breathing becomes so shallow it's almost imperceptible, and its glands begin secreting a foul odor, the smell of decay, to convince predators that this meat is spoiled and unsafe to eat. This state can last anywhere from 40 minutes to 4 hours. The animal is completely aware of its surroundings, but physically unable to move. It's not a performance. It's an evolutionary panic button hardwired at the deepest level of its biology. So if an opossum has found its way into your yard, consider yourself fortunate. You've acquired a free, chemical-free pest control service that works every single night without you lifting a finger. Don't chase it. Don't trap it. Don't call pest control unless the animal is clearly sick. Signs of a sick opossum: erratic circling, disorientation, thick discharge from eyes or nose. If none of those are present, it's healthy and working. 3 things you can do to help. 1. Leave a shallow dish of water in a quiet corner of the yard. They get thirsty patrolling your property. 2. Let fallen leaves accumulate along fence lines and under bushes. That's where ticks breed, and that's where opossums hunt. 3. Stop using chemical pesticides. They kill the insects and arthropods that opossums rely on as food, and they poison the animal that's trying to help you. You don't need to feed it. Don't try to tame it. You don't need to approach it at all. Just stop seeing it as a threat and start seeing it for what it is: the most effective, zero-cost pest management system nature ever designed. But there's something much bigger here, something that shifts this from interesting animal fact to genuinely mind-blowing.
The Virginia opossum is the only marsupial native to North America. Let that word land. Marsupial. Like the kangaroo, like the koala. On the other side of the world. When opossum babies are born, they are the size of a honeybee. Blind, hairless, pink, barely more than an embryo with a will to survive. They must crawl, completely unaided, through a thicket of their mother's fur, locate the pouch by instinct alone, and latch onto a nipple where they will remain for the next 2 months, completing their development in a warm, dark pocket of their mother's body. When they finally emerge, they ride on her back, tiny faces peeking over her fur, clinging as she moves through the night. A slow caravan of survival crossing your yard while you sleep. One of the most ancient and tender parenting strategies in the animal kingdom, happening quietly in ordinary gardens while the rest of the world sleeps. But this animal carries one more secret, and this is the one that truly breaks your brain. The Virginia opossum is almost completely immune to the venom of rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, and copperheads. Think about that. The creature that moves like a slow shadow through your garden, the one that eats ticks and grubs and whatever it finds in the leaf litter, is resistant to venom that can kill a dog in minutes. Venom that sends grown adults to intensive care. Scientists discovered a specific peptide in the opossum's blood. They named it LTNF, a protein that neutralizes snake venom at the molecular level. Researchers are now studying this peptide as the foundation for a universal antivenom, a single drug that could work against multiple species of venomous snakes. A medicine that could save thousands of lives every year in rural communities where snakebite is a daily risk and antivenom is expensive or unavailable. The animal the neighborhood chases with a broom carries in its veins a potential cure for one of the most difficult problems in emergency medicine. And it's here, in your yard, eating ticks, raising babies, doing what it's been doing for over 70 million years, since before the dinosaurs went extinct. Surviving, cleaning, protecting, holding in its blood what science is only beginning to understand. There is something quietly profound about that. An animal this ancient, this resilient, this misunderstood, choosing your yard as its territory, living alongside one of the oldest surviving mammal lineages on Earth, without even noticing. Maybe the question was never whether you should tolerate the opossum. Maybe the real question is whether you've been paying enough attention to understand what it's been offering you all along. Now I want to hear from you. Tell me your opossum story. Have they visited your yard? Did you chase them away? Or did you let them stay? What happened next? I read every comment. I'll pin the best stories to the top of this video so the whole community can see them. And if you know someone who's still scared of these animals, send them this video. Maybe today they'll stop running from their most valuable garden ally. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories from the quiet corners of your own backyard. I'll see you in the comments.